Be careful, no one is truly your friend. I must tell you that the world, especially the world of ambition and achievement, is fundamentally transactional. People are primarily concerned with themselves. Everyone is chasing something: success, money, recognition, validation, or survival. And in this fierce, consuming pursuit, the needs, feelings, and struggles of others often become secondary. No matter how close someone seems to be, you'll eventually realize that when life gets complicated, most people will choose themselves first. This is not always malicious, but it is human nature. This knowledge is not intended to make you bitter, but rather to make you wise. The ability to rely completely on yourself is your greatest defense and your most valuable asset in this self-centered world. You may believe you have loyal friends now, but wait until you are broke, wait until you fail, or wait until you make a decision that does not benefit them, and then look around. That is when you will see who is real and who was just passing time with you. True support, true loyalty, is often convenience, not commitment. The moment you stop being useful, people disappear like smoke. 1. The transactional reality and the illusion of support. The most difficult lesson life teaches is that people support you only as long as you serve their purpose. This harsh truth goes often unspoken, but it defines most adult interactions. We grow up with the gentle idea that friendships are forever, and that people will stand by us in our highs and lows, but as we age, as life begins to test us, that truth slowly, and often painfully, unfolds. Think about those crucial moments of life, particularly in your academic or early professional struggles. When you are at your lowest point, your phone rings less when you are going through something. People check in when it is convenient for them, not when you truly need them. When you are confused, people often laugh. When you dream big, they doubt you. But when you rise, when you succeed, oh, now they remember your name. That sudden interest is not genuine friendship, that is convenience. This dynamic creates a profound irony: when you are winning, they want to be close, but when you stumble, they become distant. It is not that everyone is bad, it is that everyone is busy managing their own chaos. Understanding that the world is self-centered is the key to achieving independence. You must stop expecting people to carry your weight and, instead, build the strength to carry it yourself. You must learn that no one is coming to save you, so you stop waiting, you stop hoping that someone else will push you, fix you, or believe in you. You must begin to rely on the one person who has never left your side, yourself. 2. The currency of strength and the silence of struggle. One of the most misunderstood aspects of life is the belief that people will support you the most when you are struggling. While we wish help would arrive during your weakest moments, reality paints a much colder picture. Help, admiration, support, and recognition often do not show up when you are down, they come when you no longer need them. People respect strength, not struggle. They gather around success, not suffering. When you are at rock bottom, your cries for help often go unheard, not because people are necessarily cruel, but because struggle makes others uncomfortable. Most people do not know how to deal with brokenness, they do not know what to say, how to act, or how to support without being inconvenienced. Your pain becomes invisible, not because it lacks meaning, but because it lacks value in a society that only rewards visible wins. Weakness is met with silence, not because you are not worth saving, but because most people are waiting to see if you will save yourself first. They want to see what you do when no one shows up. They want to see if you have the heart to keep moving even when your back is against the wall. Only when you start to rise, only when the light begins to flicker in your eyes again, do they reappear. They reappear not to rescue you, but to attach themselves to your comeback. This is the great irony. People love a comeback story, but only when the worst parts are already behind you. They want to be part of the celebration, not the chaos. They want to take pictures at your peak, not sit in silence at your lowest. When you are begging for opportunities, they ignore you. But when you no longer need them, they ask how they can help. When you are hungry, the doors remain closed, but when you start building your own table, they want a seat at it. If this uncompromising perspective on self-reliance is strengthening your resolve to build your future independently, we want to hear from you. We are committed to providing the unvarnished truths necessary for you to achieve success. If you are ready to stop negotiating with external validation, show your support immediately. Please take a moment right now to hit that like button, share this video with a focused peer who needs this clarity, and, if you haven't already, subscribe to ensure you don't miss our next lesson in personal strength. Your engagement helps us deliver more transformative content. 3. The power of self-authorship and emotional independence. Learning to stand alone is not a weakness, it is one of the most powerful things you can ever do for yourself. It means your emotional well-being is not dependent on others. It means your happiness isn't in someone else's hands, and your growth isn't tied to someone else's approval. When you learn to stand alone, you stop begging for support. You stop explaining your dreams to people who only want to understand you so they can compete with you. You become your own motivator, your own coach, and your own safety net. In a self-centered world, the ability to be independent becomes your greatest shield. People cannot manipulate you when you do not need them. They cannot guilt you, silence you, or control you when you have no emotional leash tied to their presence. Standing alone gives you the freedom to think clearly, to move in silence, and to execute without permission. This world respects results, not potential. It celebrates outcomes, not effort. If you are expecting empathy to fuel your journey, you will be disappointed. Most people will not understand your path, but they do not need to, because in the end, the world only claps when you have already won. It does not clap when you are struggling, doubting, or trying. No one else is responsible for your destiny. That heavy but essential burden belongs to you and you alone. You have to be willing to walk paths that make sense only to you. You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You must be at peace with silence, isolation, and solitude, because that is where true strength is forged. The sooner you stop expecting others to fulfill your emotional needs, the more power you take back. The moment you accept that most people are temporary, you begin to live without the fear of loss. The minute you stop depending on others for direction, you start developing your own vision. That is how leaders are born, that is how success is built, not with company, but with character, not with applause, but with endurance. 4. The transformative power of solitude. The fear of being alone is a common trap built into human nature. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid isolation, believing that being alone means being forgotten, unloved, or unimportant. But solitude is not weakness. In fact, the moment you truly understand who you are, being alone becomes one of the most powerful states you can experience. When you know your identity, your purpose, and your values, the silence around you does not feel like emptiness, it feels like clarity. Being alone exposes you to yourself. It removes the noise, the distractions, and the outside influences that often shape your decisions and beliefs. You are no longer adjusting yourself to fit in, nor are you altering your personality to be accepted. You start seeing yourself with honest eyes, your flaws, your strengths, your patterns, and your potential. Most people avoid being alone, not because they dislike silence, but because they are afraid of what it might reveal. But something transformational happens when you stop running from solitude and start embracing it. You realize that peace does not require permission from others. You understand that confidence isn't built in a crowd, it's built in the quiet. When you are secure in your identity, solitude becomes fuel. You use that time to grow, to create, and to reflect. You are not lonely, you are preparing. You are sharpening your mind, protecting your energy, and aligning with your goals. You stop fearing missing out, FOMO, because you understand that not every opportunity, every party, every relationship, or every trend is aligned with your specific path. Alone, you learn discernment. In solitude, you also develop resilience. You face your thoughts without running. You confront your weaknesses without excuses. You learn how to comfort, motivate, and discipline yourself. That kind of strength cannot be faked. It does not come from group support, it comes from inner work. Once you have built that foundation, you are no longer shaken by people leaving, circumstances changing, or criticism showing up. Without the distractions, your vision sharpens, and you move with purpose. Alone, you get the space to align with who you are becoming instead of who others expect you to be. 5. The irony of success and the shifting dynamics. One of the most surprising and difficult lessons life teaches is that the more successful you become, the fewer real friends you will have around you. It seems backward at first. Shouldn't success attract more celebration and support? But reality often works in the opposite direction. The very moment you begin to rise, the dynamics of your relationships begin to change, often not with words, but with silence, with distance, and with looks that do not match the smiles. When you are struggling, people find comfort in your situation because you are relatable, you are not threatening. Your failures make them feel less alone in their own. But when you begin to break barriers, when you start chasing excellence instead of excuses, something shifts. The people who once rooted for you may start to feel uncomfortable. Jealousy creeps in. Insecurity starts whispering to them that your success is a reflection of their stagnation. You will start to notice strange behaviors, invitations disappear, messages slow down, and conversations that were once warm become distant. The tone changes. It is subtle but sharp. People who once said, "You got this," now might quietly say, "Don't forget where you came from." Some friendships are simply built on common struggle, not deep connection. As long as you are in the same place, you are bonded. But once you move forward, the thread begins to unravel. What seemed like a genuine friendship was often just proximity, familiar pain, or shared limitations. The moment you escape that reality, you unintentionally highlight what they have not done yet. This is not your fault, but it inevitably becomes your problem. Your growth starts making others question their own choices, and instead of using your progress as inspiration, some use it as ammunition. They begin rewriting the story of your success, claiming you got lucky or that you changed. These comments often come not from enemies, but from people you once trusted. Success acts like a mirror, it doesn't change people, it reveals them. Many people want to see you do well, just not better than them. When you start achieving more, they feel left behind. They begin to question why your life is moving faster, why you are reaching heights they haven't. In their minds, your success becomes unfair, and instead of asking how they can level up, they pull back. The people who once promised they would never leave might become the first ones to fade away. Their absence will be in the way they no longer ask how you are doing, no longer support your work, and no longer include you in moments that once mattered. They will just disconnect quietly, gradually, until you realize you have outgrown them, and they have outgrown your success. We are examining the profound emotional maturity required to handle the isolation and shifting loyalties that accompany achievement. If you recognize this truth and are ready to stand firm against external pressure, let us know. Comment below and tell us how you plan to use solitude this week for your academic and personal growth. Your shared commitment encourages our entire community. Don't forget to hit like and share this crucial insight, and if you haven't subscribed yet, join our growing family of independent and focused thinkers now. 6. The architecture of true trust and guarding your vision. Trust is one of the most powerful currencies in life, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. Many people confuse trust with feelings. They assume that because someone makes them feel comfortable, speaks kindly, or shows temporary loyalty, that person is trustworthy. But real trust is not built through warmth or charm, it is earned slowly through repeated experience, not instant emotion. Emotions are unreliable, they fluctuate with moods, circumstances, and perceptions. You can feel close to someone in a single conversation and feel distant from them the next day. Words are cheap, actions, consistency, and tested loyalty are what define true trust. It is not about how someone makes you feel in one moment, it is about how they show up over time, especially when it is inconvenient for them. Genuine trust forms through patterns. You must notice how someone behaves when things go wrong. You pay attention to how they respond when you fail, when you are vulnerable, or when you are no longer useful to them. Do they still respect you? Do they protect what you shared in confidence, even when you are not around? These are the moments that quietly build or destroy trust. Anyone can be nice when they have something to gain. Anyone can pretend to care when the room is full of opportunity. But what happens when the benefits disappear? What happens when it is no longer easy or profitable to be in your corner? That's when you see the truth. Trust is tested in silence, it is revealed in discomfort. Students often make the mistake of trusting too quickly. They get emotionally attached, open up their world, and expose their thoughts and struggles to people they barely know. They trust someone's words without waiting to see their actions. When betrayal happens, they call it heartbreak, but the reality is trust wasn't broken, it was never built properly in the first place. You do not owe anyone instant access to your mind, your emotions, your business, or your dreams. Guard them until time proves that someone can handle the weight of them. Trust is like glass, once shattered, even if it is repaired, the cracks remain. That is why it must be constructed carefully, deliberately, and through lived experience, not felt emotion. True trust is not about perfection, but about finding people who will not run when it gets hard. Those who are truly trustworthy are rare, they do not ask for your trust, they earn it, and they do not flaunt loyalty, they prove it quietly. 7. The final code of silence and strength. In a world driven by self-interest, expecting unwavering loyalty or true friendship from others can lead to deep disappointment. The harsh reality is that most people are with you for as long as it is convenient, beneficial, or emotionally rewarding for them. When life is hard, your circle shrinks. When you rise, jealousy often replaces support. Therefore, it is critical to learn how to walk alone, think independently, and protect your inner world. True strength comes from understanding that not everyone who claps for you wants to see you win. Some are simply waiting for a reason to walk away or to benefit from your fall. This realization does not mean you must become cold or cynical, it means you must become smart. Be cautious with your energy. Protect your vision. Do not overshare your plans or trust too quickly. Build yourself so strong that you no longer need to depend on anyone's loyalty but your own. Remember this simple, profound guidance: be smart, be sharp, and most importantly, be careful in today's world. Don't open your heart to everyone. Don't tell your plans to just anybody. Learn to be your own friend, learn to clap for yourself in silence. Because the day you stop relying on people is the day you start becoming truly powerful. No one else is responsible for your destiny. Work hard, stay silent, and let success answer all the questions. It is better to walk alone than walk with people who pretend to care. Because in the end, the only person who will always walk with you is the one staring back in the mirror. The choice is yours. Will you be dependent on temporary, external support and validation, or will you forge the inner, unshakable strength that guarantees your journey, regardless of who stays or who goes? Be strong, be independent, and build your own table so that when others finally recognize your worth, they ask for a seat, rather than you begging for an invitation. Finally, we issue our last and most crucial call to action. If this message has instilled in you the resolve to forge your destiny independently, please engage now. Hit the like button, tell us in the comments what commitment you are making to protect your vision this week, share this video widely with anyone seeking true strength, and subscribe if you are ready to be the architect of your own unshakable success. Thank you for your commitment to growth.